And I want to say this about Draymond, and then we'll go to the phones.
What do we got about Draymond? He controlled himself last night?
Well, let me say that in a different way. I really, really, really am impressed because here's what I think. I think, and we've seen it now about 3 or 4 times, and last night was going to be Exhibit A, to where I didn't necessarily believe, there's actually like a legitimate disagreement going on the court. I saw what I believed was players on the other team trying to get Draymond to implode. And it would be stupid if they didn't try. We all thought during the suspension, this is exactly what's going to happen when you get back. They are going to try to get you to implode and get yourself kicked out and kicked off. And I am watching the growth of Draymond Green on the television in terms of how he handles that to still be that dude and still not take any stuff, but also stop himself before it turns to blows or guys getting kicked in the you-know-whats. And therefore, if it's a technical, cool, it's a technical. Off we go, next play, inbound the ball. And I've seen him do it a few times. And who's the dude, Grandy? I asked you earlier. What's his name? Captain three-pointer for the Grizzlies?
Santi Aldama.
Aldama. Okay, this guy. Under the hoop, when he and Draymond started to tussle, Draymond turned around after getting shoved in the back, and he grabbed him in the chest. He had a fistful of jersey. But what I saw Draymond do, instead of get up into his face, he shook his head. And I may be making up a story, but to me, I translate that to mean I'm looking at you, Aldama, and going, nope, you're not going to get me. You're not going to get me to implode. Stop shoving me. Let's go to the other end of the court. Bravo.
I will say this. If it's a team that's in the West that they're competing with for the playoffs, that little handful of jersey could have escalated because I want to take Draymond with me, meaning I want him to, hockey version, go to the penalty box and get suspended again. Like the Grizzlies, what do they got? Okay, just whatever. The guy walked away from it.
I mean, I'd ask
something that small could escalate.
It could.
Because
I have a lot more confidence.
The other dude, the Aldama guy or whatever his name is, he could have escalated that. He walked away from it. If somebody grabs my jersey and pulls on it, I have every right to do what I want after that.
No, you don't have every right to do whatever you want. Well, you can't sock him in the face.
You're right. I don't have every right to do what I want, but some things can happen from that.
Sure. So
if I'm thinking like I can get Draymond suspended and get the Warriors out of the playoffs, and now we don't have to play him in the playoffs, something like that could have escalated. But I'll give you your props in the sense that, yeah, he did walk away from it or was pushed away from it. And the more you watch Draymond, at least the more I watch Draymond being back in town for a couple of years, he's the kind of guy that needs this to get him going. He needs something. Like, you remember when Chad Ochocinco used to call out somebody from another team every week to get his fires going? And like he needs this. He needs a little like shovey, pushy, confrontation-y, pop off, you pop off, I pop off, somebody breaks us up to get his juices flowing.
He thanked the Grizzlies after the game. He said that that locked us in.
It locked him in?
It locked us in.
His play went up a notch after that.
That's fine.
And you see that. He needs that. And maybe he can get that fix without getting ejected or suspended or swinging wildly at somebody or whatever.
I'm just, put it this way. I certainly can't sit here and look you in the eye and tell you, nope, there's no way it's going to escalate and there's no way Draymond's going to do anything. I have a lot more confidence now than ever before that Draymond is not going to let that escalation get out of hand.
Ooh, I disagree. It could happen tomorrow.
It could. Anything could happen. This isn't a one-time observation.
You don't think if you turn up like a playoff series in a game 6 or 7 scenario on the road when he was inciting the crowd in Sacramento last year that all heck is breaking loose, that could happen again?
I don't think he's going to be inciting the crowd anymore. The
one thing I will say is I would rather as a coach have to turn a guy down than turn him up.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, listen. Yeah, I've never gotten off of the supporting Draymond wagon.
I have.
I certainly think that there were things that needed to be adjusted, but I think that those can be separate opinions. It was not okay what he was doing. But I never got to the point of the Warriors need to, I'm done with Draymond, which felt like half the fan base a few months ago. Felt like half the fan base. I've never been there. I appreciate what he does. I think he's still doing it at a very, very high level. I'm just telling you that we're at about 4 times now in the last 4 weeks where I've noticed stuff that would have been a bigger deal in January not get there because he is he's saying his piece and then he's walking away.
He's on double secret probation and he knows it.
Yes. That's totally fair to say. But
his season would be over with another suspension.
Absolutely.
And he knows that. And if you know that as a player, at this point in the season when every win matters and they're playing for their lives every night, basically, he knows that if anything else happens, that it's over, that even the playoffs are over at this time.
Right, except for it wasn't that long ago that we would look at this and go, oh, he knows that he can't do this, and then he would do it anyway. And we talked during the suspension and felt like, is he actually, you're telling me Draymond Green's going to understand that he can't do this? Yes. What you just said.
Yep.
He understands that he can't do this anymore.
Wants to play.